grows up, he gets married, he goes to his teenage years, he goes to his adulthood, and then when you get into adulthood and you get into Z, you see how prominent Gohan is in the intro of the series and towards the outro of the series. They show them flying to the screen, and you see Gohan and Goku and Gohan. And it's showing you that these characters, in terms of what the narrative and what they are in service of, have equal levels of importance up to this point in the narrative. And it was almost like a passing of the baton when you saw the father and son Kamehameha. This was like the moment where they're saying to us, or informing the audience, hey, this is our new a prime, our new main character. This is the character who's going to bear the weight of the narrative going forward. And it felt as though everything was built up perfectly for that to be the case. And unfortunately, I felt as though, narratively speaking, Gohan had
Yeah.
taught Gohan had been taught everything he needed to up to that point, and Goku as a character had learned so much. He was able to set his pride aside. He was able to set combat aside. He was able to set aside all these elements of his personhood in order to rectify his own mistakes, maybe overcalculating how his son's own desire for fighting in combat, and basically do something so altruistic just basically sacrificing himself and getting rid of Cell in that moment in time. To bring him back in Blue Saga, there's not necessarily any progression, and even in Super, they necessarily have to kind of revert some elements of who he is.
No, no,
And
no, no, not just revert. They made him retarded as shit. I want you.
oh
I want
yeah,
people to understand this point. He understood even towards like the Frieza thing that you can't let certain people continue to live. You have to take these motherfuckers out because they'll wipe everyone else out. He learns that with Cell as well. Like some of these guys just have to go. He reverts that back in Super, and it happens at least like twice. Like I think when Frieza comes back in the resurrection of F, he hesitates taking him out, knowing how much of a tyrant he is. That was stupid as shit to me. He does the same thing. I don't know if the Super went into the moral arc or whatnot. He does the same shit with him, where it's like Goku has to relearn the lesson about how certain dudes are just completely pure evil, and you cannot let them continue. Even with Boo, like he knows that he has to take out Boo completely and entirely, or else the universe is wiped out. But in Super, they just kind of mentally push him back to like he was, as if he hell even Dragon Ball version of him knew that certain of those demons had to get taken out and killed. So they just made him, for the narrative of the story, they made him incredibly stupid, and that's a poor form of writing because no person who goes through events like that suddenly just backpedals completely, especially in regards to saving their family and their loved ones and the entire universe. So yeah, that's another element of writing Akira got super sloppy on for sure.
yeah, I
I'm
agree
gonna
with. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. So,
I'm gonna
Oh yeah,
touch
go
on
ahead.
one last thing of Dragon Ball, and then we can move to
All
something
right.
else as well. But I personally like the OG Brawly more than the new one
Hell
because
yeah.
the OG one, he was a fucking
He was an
psychopath.
asshole. He
He
was a
was a
dick, bro. I
monster.
loved it, bro. He was a yes.
Dude, he fucking
oh,
clotheslined Vegeta in the air and just started stomping him, like just stomping. And that was the one time where I felt like, shit was serious because you had a character like Vegeta who's always like on his high horse, always prideful, like, oh, I'm the Prince of all Saiyans, and then you have him like literally pissing his pants, being like, you guys don't understand. We're all gonna die.
We're
And
all
then
fucked.
everyone's like, nah, man, we can take him. And they all just get folded. Like, me, that's what made Broly such a good villain. Because you can see the buildup of him slowly just getting bigger, bigger. Man, that man was eating a Trend salad every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He had Trend in his protein shakes. That man was huge.
Yeah,
I was
no.
like, God damn.
Yeah, Brawley's
boy
OG
was dumb though.
personality was not. It was. I love this. The duality of his personality: calm, quiet in his regular form, even his Super Saiyan form. But once he gets to Legendary, it's just flipped completely. Other side. He's just devilish. Doesn't give a fuck. Toys with his enemies. Beats the ever living shit out of them. And they kind of made him super docile in the new iteration of him. And certain elements I do like about it, but especially
I
his
think they gave him
transformation
a
in the
better
OG, it was
backstory.
great. Yeah,
I think
yeah.
they
And
gave him a
once again,
better back because
I
his
actually
crying
would
thing was not good.
I was fine with the revamp. Like his story revamp was fine. I was just more so. I wish he had kept that more devilish personality when he went into his legendary form, at least in the new one. Like
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
would have
Yeah, he
loved if they would
enjoyed
have kept that.
inflicting pain.
That would have been
Yeah.
sick. been so sick if he was that much of an asshole still in like the newer iteration. But I did like the retcon of his story though. That was more cleaner than him being pissed at Goku just because he was crying as a baby. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
that was the
definitely
one thing from the old one. I like the character. If you were to mix like the story with like the character together, that makes
yes.
sense.
Shit would have been sick. No, for sure. I agree.
Yeah, but
By the way, that movie had clean animation, probably the
oh
best
yeah,
I've seen ever. Their art style is beautiful.
oh yeah. By the way, I want to let you guys both know Frieza's newest transformation in manga. He's
Stop,
black
stop. I
now.
I, I don't want to hear this shit, bro. I don't want to hear this shit.
Yes, sir. He's got his
He's
Cine
black
card.
now.
He's
Let me,
officially
That
got
man,
his Cine card. He's a BET baby boy license. Who would
wait,
have
wait,
thought?
wait, 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 wait. Is he like black or something instead of gold?
Yes, he is
I can't.
black. He
he's
is
literally
black.
Man,
black.
bro. This
He
nigga's
went
just
from
swapping
gold to
colors at
black.
this point, bro. That's all he's doing. He's just swapping colors at this point. I don't
Oh, he's
understand.
chameleon though, for real.
That nigga's just throwing
But
colors
people are
out.
making jokes. They're saying like, if you can't beat him, join him, and it's like him saying hello, monkeys.
Oh, cause the
He's
monkey
black.
shit.
I'm like, oh hell no.
They made him Black Frieza. I'm fucking. I can't, bro. I do it. That's crazy.
But going on to a different topic though, I want to actually talk about you on Twitter and like your kind of rise because for people who don't know, Ten is actually making moves on Twitter right now. He's getting his count built up pretty good, and I respect the hustle. I respect the grind. So I just want to let you know like your input of like how things got that way for you, like what made you want to go down this path.
All right, so I really didn't even plan on getting on social media at all. I had deleted all my accounts like a couple years ago, IG, Tinder, all of it, because I planned on just completely focusing on the work that I was doing and building myself up for the tech that I'm working on at the moment. But then I realized at a certain point, I'm going to need certain people, certain groups of people, certain individuals. And so I decided that I need to use certain social media platform for it. I was going to use Facebook. I thought about it, but then I'm like, it's too many boomers and retards on there. So no, I can't do that. So I knew Twitter had more intellectuals on there, people who understood the world a lot better. So that's why I joined that primarily. And pretty much as I joined, I kind of, surfed around a little bit. Deja Vu 22, his content was the one I found first and the most. Resonated with it completely. A lot of his spiritual elements and mental model almost nearly identical to mine. So he was one of the first few that I followed when I got on there. And I interacted with him and then his community. And then pretty much guys who fuck with him, I fuck with them at the same time. So I kind of just grew on there. My aim isn't really to get a super huge following. That's just kind of a byproduct. The main reason I got on there, as I said before, was to just find certain individuals. The reason I can't state at the moment, but it did work out completely. Like it actually worked out way better, a lot faster than I thought. I thought it'd take me like a year to kind of shift through Twitter to find the people I needed. But no, I found them in like 2 months. Actually, less than that.
Oh yeah.
And
And what was I gonna say? You were
go ahead.
mentioning earlier off camera too that there's different sides of squares and shit like that.
Right,
What made
right.
you like, be like, yeah, these guys are it? If I know you said you got something secret, but you think you share some of that?
Yeah, I can share a bit. So I knew for sure there was like, there's this right wing, left wing side, there's an anime side, there's Black Twitter. So I knew there was different variations and versions all pretty much converging on the platform. And so I didn't know at the time that it was called Money Twitter. But yeah, Deja Vu was already kind of linked to that. So I pretty much kind of went straight to there because I knew the people who were linked to him were probably pretty smart. And so as I saw more and more posts as I was on the site, closing is one of them. Pierre's another. My boy Reese, Mimic, Mimetic, he's another one as well. Jacob, I met a few of them as I was pretty much going through, and we all pretty much was dropping content, talking to each other. And I knew as I read their tweets and saw their posts, I knew these were men who they were go-getters. They were hungry. They were ready. They were tired of just letting shit fly by and not being on top. And I knew they were hungry for a lot more out of life rather than wherever they're currently at, what they were doing. And I was like, fuck, I need these fucking guys. Lion's another OG as well. Well, it's two Lions. There's Lion Spectre, that's one of my boys as well, and then there's another Lion who's more of like the marketing side. So I kind of got on there, converged with them, and we're making moves behind the scenes, and
No,
it's
I
going
love
great.
that too because what's it? Deja Vu. Talked to him a few times in the group chat. He's
Yeah.
one of the big accounts I don't know much of. Like we're like cordial, but I'd love to get to know the guy more. But definitely Lion, I consider him to be a good bro. Like that man, He is like,
He's great. He's great. He's
yeah,
fucking
he's a
amazing.
mastermind sometimes of some of his shit. Like,
And
it,
not to cut you off, but I do want to shout out Deja Vu. His name's Ruby. That's what we usually call him, and he's one of the first people that endorsed me on Twitter. So I do have to shout that out because he endorsed me like a month after I got in, and like he boosted me.